Grownups Read Things They Wrote as Kids was taped in front of a live audience. Regina, please join me in welcoming our very courageous first reader of the evening. When Bronwyn was 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21, she says she wrote a lot of terrible poetry. And we're going to hear a couple examples of that. Bronwyn's going to read 3 poems all about hopelessness. She says, "Don't worry, she's medicated now." Please welcome to our stage, Bronwyn.
Well, I told Dan that I needed to go soon so I could leave for work or later. I didn't expect to go first. And I'm a little afraid to be on stage with Dan now, so I'll do this quickly. So as Dan mentioned, I'm reading some poetry I wrote when I was between 17 and 21. I was apparently desperately depressed, and don't worry, I'm happily medicated now and mostly, okay. Melancholy settles in like morning dew. Unnoticed but very evident, broken looking glass stands as witness to conflicting emotions that reign. Self-confidence is a joke made by media and its hype. So little girls think they're screwed up and little boys become vulgar. Perfection doesn't exist in the world as we know it. Fellow man is a myth where people who should care actually do something worthwhile. If I show you all my hang-ups, will you make them disappear, only to reappear from behind my knee to show up at the most embarrassing moment, like when you say I'm pretty and then you laugh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was really sad. So my second one is equally uplifting. Loneliness surrounds me, but I encourage it. Its darkness is real and absurdly comforting. Jealousy picks at me, opening wounds of long ago, but I do nothing to discourage its gnawing. Heaviness weighs upon me, and I hold it strong, not wanting to move it, waiting for someone else to. Rhythm pounds my skull. Its beat enters my heart, and I keep it there so nothing else will fit. Fear creeps toward me, stalking my waiting mind, and I do nothing to withhold it. My defenses aren't that strong. People stand watching me, waiting to be asked inside, but my walls are too high for me to climb. And my last poem has the worst title known to man. Realization of myself in that broken, jaded mirror. Yeah. You ever want to go back in time and just smack yourself really hard? I am easily swept under the rug, as though my thoughts are that easy to ignore. You tend to undermine my emotions, dismissing ones you think aren't valid. I did not ask for the critic's viewpoint. I do not write to save the world, but merely to express however I feel at the moment I feel it. Relative to all others, I appear ignorant and poorly expressed, but I've had it with pretending that I'm brilliant or brain dead. Thank you for mocking me. I have no thought of my own. For fear you won't agree with me, I have so little of your respect as it is. I won't make apologies that I'm not hip as all that and a bag of chips. I'd like to be content to be me, if that's all right with you. Don't worry, I'll always ask. I know who I am. Thank you.
Bronwyn, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for sharing those. You may have wanted to go back and smack yourself. I think we all would like to go back and give you a hug. I'm going to let Jane know. Jane, you are on deck, but joining us on stage right now, Judd is going to share a couple of things. We're going to hear from grade 7 a short how-to that explains the game of football. We're also going to hear a short write-up about what Judd wanted to do when he retired, written in grade 7, and a short Halloween story. Please welcome to the Grownups Read Things They Wrote as Kids stage, Judd.
Thank you. Are we good? Absolutely. All right. I played minor football as a kid, and apparently it took over my life. So this is called About Football. Do you know what the roughest and most exhilarating sport is? Of course, it's football. In this essay, I'll give you information on the sport that towers over them all. I'll also give you knowledge on positions and equipment, so strap on your chin strap and read away. Football is played when two teams wearing equipment try to get a ball made from pigskin down to the other team's end zone, an area on which if the ball enters, the team on the opposite side of the field gets 6 points. After 6 points is scored, the team that scored can kick a convert that consists of 1 point. At the end of 4 quarters, the team with the most points wins. Do you know how many players are allowed on a field at the same time? In the NFL, there's 11, but in the CFL and minors, there's 12. The penalty for too many players on defense is a 5-yard gain for offense. If the penalty is on the offense, it is 5 yards the other way. There are lots of important equipment for safety in football, but I think the most important one is the helmet. It protects injuries from your head. The shoulder pads are important. They protect shoulders from damage and provide assistance while tackling. The hip and tail pads, along with the thigh pads, protect the legs. The face mask on a helmet are help also. Some masks are big, with lots of bars, and some, such as a place kicker, who need to see the poles have only consist of one. The players who wear large masks are the linemen, the linebackers, and the fullback, and some quarterbacks do too. Face masks depend on how rough the positions are. The rougher the position, the bigger the mask. Now, I'll bet you know about as much about football as I do. Well, now don't you agree that football is the most action-packed, stupendous, and exciting sport created? If you like football, you can join me in minor football, like me too. When I retire, I will take out my life savings of $2 billion and buy a Corvette and a Mustang. I will buy my wife a 1968 Volkswagen Rabbit. I'll live in a mansion in Florida. My wife still works and pays for all my luxuries, such as my boat and my car payments. I have my kids go to Disneyland with my servants. Their names are Scott and Gary. After my MVP trophy winning season with the Chicago Bears, I retire with 5 Super Bowl rings and 5 MVP trophies. I'll die when I'm 75. After I die, I'll be inducted into the Hall of Fame. All right, here's a quick little Halloween story. It was dark and musty as we entered the old attic. We had not been up there for years. Everything was covered in thick dust. Suddenly, I spotted an old trunk. I broke the lock open and peeked inside. Suddenly, a bloody cold hand grabbed me by the throat. I was turning blue as I gasped for oxygen. I was very sorry I had been so curious. Luckily, my friend came to my rescue and used his trusty chainsaw to remove the murderous hand from my throat. The end. Thank you.
A retrospective, ladies and gentlemen. Very nicely done. Ashley, you are on deck. Joining us next on the Grownups Read Things They Wrote as Kids stage, Jane is going to read a short paragraph written in grade 11. And when I asked Jane what this paragraph was about, she told me it's about how you could manage without hands. Please welcome Jane to our stage.
A word of caution. I didn't learn about inclusive language in grade 11 in 1964. And I had not yet met Alvin Law, who demonstrates great dexterity without arms and hands. But I did get an A on this paragraph. The human hands are man's most remarkable tools. Have you ever considered what you would do if you had not used your hands? Eating, or trying to eat, might be quite an ingenious operation. Imagine going to a banquet without hands. Would you hold your fork daintily between your toes? Have you ever watched a pie eating contest at a country fair where participants sit with their hands tied behind their backs? Now, the meal might be quite enjoyable if the right person were feeding you. But what might come of that? Without hands, you could still stroll down Lover's Lane, arm in arm. But where would you proudly display your ring? In your nose? All joking aside, we should appreciate our hands and learn to use them well. As a wise man once said, learn to cut your fingernails with your left hand. You might lose your right one. Thank you.
That took a romantic turn I was not expecting. Todd is on deck. Can I ask Regina, do we have any fans of the band Matchbox 20 in the room? It's more than I thought. Our next reader, Ashley, says that when she was 13 years old, there was no bigger Matchbox 20 fan than her. And when Matchbox 20 came to Regina on May 9th, 1998, she obsessively chronicled the lead-up and aftermath of the concert in her journal. A little bit of context here. Ashley's mom had banned much music in their house at 13 years old. Please welcome to our stage, Ashley.
March 24th, 1998. Mom got tickets to Matchbox 20. I'm so happy I get to go. March 31st, 39 days. Mom said she might just take Justine and Hillary. I told her I'd disown her if she did. Matchbox 20 is my favorite band, and I intend on meeting them. Or seeing them. I'm hoping I'll meet them at the concert. April 7th, 32 days. I can hardly wait, but I don't talk about it so much anymore. April 13th. Today when Mom was gone, we watched much. There was a commercial concert listing of Matchbox 20, 26 days. I got really hyper. April 21st. Madame said that on Matthew's tombstone, it will be written tomorrow, since that's his excuse for everything. Kim said 18 days will be on my tombstone, 18 days till the concert. April 22nd. I woke up at exactly 1 a.m. and America's Dumbest Criminals was on. I shut my TV off, and my first thought was, it's Wednesday, 17 more days till Matchbox 20. April 26th. Friday night, I babysat Jordan and Colby. I made $20. Now I can afford a concert t-shirt. May 3rd. 6 more days. I'm no longer so excited outside, but inside it's amazing. Like at the wedding, they played Push. I was standing in front of the speaker thinking, in 1 more week, I'll hear this live. Then sometimes I get so excited, I'll start jumping up and down. Think of Saturday, I'll be so hyper. That'll be a long day. Just think, 6 days I'll hear Rob Thomas singing all of my favorite songs. What if I get an autograph and I meet him? I'll frame it and it'll become my prized possession on my wall, and oh God, 6 days. May 9th, actually 10th, 12:06 a.m. My life is boring, so I'm skipping right to the chase. I met Matchbox 20. When we first got there, Cool for August was opening. The lead singer is wild. I got his autograph. Rob came out and sang a song with him. I was screaming so loud and hard that my voice was gone practically. Then Matchbox 20 came. They started with Busted and ended with Long Day. After the concert, we stayed an extra hour. But before I get into that, everyone that I've told I'm going to meet them has said give it up. Well, we waited, and almost one by one they came out. I got 3 of their autographs. I met Kyle, one of the guitarists. We talked about guitars, and he gave me an autograph pick that had a car and the number 20. He's so cool. Then this guy, another guitarist, came and I got his autograph. Then when everyone was getting his autograph, I was the first one to see Rob. He's so cool. He hugged me like 10 times, awesome, and talked to me, and I told him I'm going to be famous and tour with him. He told me not to be a pothead. They're all really nice. Kyle didn't have a guitar pick, so he went to the bus and got one for me. Mom said if he came back, we'd be able to tell if he's true to his word, and he did. I could tell they are from their music. Rob is the best. He's so nice. I cried, as stupid as it is. I always look at people meeting celebrities crying and think it's dumb. When we came out, when the concert was just ending, my legs were numb. That's what it felt like. They're so nice, the band. They're awesome, and I love them all. I can't wait to see them again. I didn't really realize that they're famous because they're normal guys. It wasn't until I thought of the Grammys and millions of people watching that I realized he's famous and he knows me. Mom hugged him and told him she wanted to hug one of the 50 most beautiful people in the world. Then he said, who, Leo? I guess I hugged the most beautiful person, one of them, about 10 times. It's so awesome. The guy from Cool for August told me to stick with it and be cool. I got his autograph. I got a t-shirt that has the album cover on it, and the back says Yourself or Someone Like You, the title of the album. It's just plain black. I really have nothing else to say. Of course, no more countdown to concert, but you can hear about how nice and cute and funny and cool they are all the time. Love, Ashley Martin.
What I love about Ashley's reading is that it wasn't just entertaining, it was full of very great life advice, such as don't be a pothead and stick with it and be cool. I think we can all identify with that need. I'm going to let Lorne know he is on deck, but joining us on stage right now, Todd is going to read something that he wrote for school in grade 2. And this was one of those assignments where your teacher would give you a picture and then a couple of lines underneath, and your job was to write a story about the picture you were given. Todd's going to read a short piece he wrote about a skunk. Please welcome Todd to our stage.
Hello. Like he said, this was a grade 2 assignment. There was a skunk with a glass of champagne for some reason. I guess that's a product of the 70s. And this skunk will not be touring with Matchbox 20. The skunk who liked booze and marijuana. One day, a skunk was walking down the street when he saw a liquor store. So he ran in and bought 6 boxes of beer. He ran out and saw a cigar store, so he ran in and bought 8 packs of marijuana. He ran back to his car and drank some beer, and soon he smoked some marijuana. Soon the skunk was in his grave. When summer came, his grave was cracked. As soon as summer was over, the skunk was a skeleton. Thank you.
There is a moral to that story. I'm just not sure exactly what it is. Also, I think the laws were different here in Regina in the 1970s than where I grew up. I'm going to let Gina know. Gina, you are on deck. But right now, Lorne is going to read a handful of school journal entries he wrote in the year 1996 at 7 years old. We're going to get a number of different entries, and this was the kind of journal that you wrote to a teacher. Please welcome Lorne to our stage.
Okay. So, Friday, September 13th, 1996. I have found out, it's titled Snails. I have found out that they are both male and female. They are cool. Little did I know that we had so much in common at the time. October 25th, 1996. Today we have a substitute. I think she's very nice. Even if she yells and screams, she still be really nice, even if we don't know her. This is why I am sending this all to you. From Emily, which is not my name. It's a substitute. To a substitute, Miss Smith. She wrote, "Thank you." I wrote, "You're welcome." Thursday, October 13th, I think it should be 31st, 1996. Tonight is the Halloween night. When undeads come around to revenge. In 1997, they will kill 12 people and suck their eyeballs out and drink their blood. But remember, don't go to the graveyard. They will suck your eyeballs and suck your blood. My teacher wrote, "I will remember your advice." November 2nd, 1996. On Halloween, I went with Tana. She was an M&M. She looked yummy. I wanted to eat her up. She looked cute. I like her. She is nice. I was a jester. Somebody took our pumpkin. I found out that they took it and if they smashed it. Yeah. December 16th, 1996. I like this song. It goes like this. Weak the halls with saints boxers. Fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be naughty. Fa la 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 la. Break a window, pop a tire. Fa la 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 la. Light Miss Woodham on fire. Fa la 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 la. Miss Woodham wrote lovely song line. Unknown date, 1996. I hate Alwyn. He is very mean. He is saying I made fun of him when I did not. I am not his friend. I hope nobody likes him. The teacher wrote, please remember we had a talk about this. So this was an assignment. I put a lot of effort into it. Write a fairy tale. Tuesday, March 4th, 1996. Once upon a time, there was a princess. She died. Everyone was sad. The end.
Between the sucking out eyeballs and the murderous Christmas carols, I think if Lauren and I put our heads together, we could make a really great compilation if we rolled in Casper the Unfriendly Ghost. I am going to let Shannon know that Shannon is on deck. But joining us on stage right now, Gina is going to share a couple of things. When she was 14, 15, and 16, she had a girlfriend, and together they would make pros and cons lists about the guys they had crushes on to see if they were good choices or not. So we're going to hear a couple of pros and cons lists. We're also going to hear a diary entry that Gina wrote after her first kiss at age 12. Please welcome to our stage, Gina.
June 9th, 11:44 p.m. OMG. I kissed Tyler in the pouring rain. My first kiss ever. Sure, it only lasted like a few milliseconds, and I'm pretty sure I missed his lips. But I should get some points for going for it, and we were really sneaky about it too. We were on Jeremy Street dancing in the pouring rain, and it started to thunder and lightning. Everyone else hopped back over the fence, but Tyler and I planned it so that we were the last two to hop over. And then it happened. I wish it was cuter, though. I mean, I wish it lasted longer. Come to think of it, I don't even actually know it did happen. But wow, it must have happened, because I can still feel the tingle on my lips. Wish me luck getting some sleep tonight. The following day at 11 a.m. Help. Something tells me this didn't actually happen. I mean, I know it did, I think. Can someone just please send me some help about this? 2 days later, June 12th. Grr, I don't know what I'm doing. I started to do some stuff with Tyler that I thought I would never do in public before. At the track and field meet today, we were playing a game of Dare, and someone dared me to hug him in public. And I just did it, right there. People were watching, and then I let him kiss me on the cheek. What was I thinking? I mean, I know he's amazing, but I don't know what I'm doing anymore. What is up with me? My whole life, I've talked about not letting myself be easy, but here I am, letting my boyfriend hug me in public. But the weirdest thing is it didn't feel like I was doing anything wrong. I think I need to stop and think about this. I might need to end it with him, and I should probably do that before I become the person I told myself I never would be. Need to think about this. Bye for now. Note to self, no more hugging in public. Maybe sitting beside each other, but that's it. So my next piece is Brett's pros and cons list. Pros. Smells nice, has really pretty eyes, likes country music, can drive, has a car, is taller than me, a cute butt, made me a cute ring out of paper, watches chick flicks, knows my Tim Hortons order, and has a hot body. Cons. He's kind of scruffy sometimes. He's a terrible speller, makes awful popcorn, doesn't know what Eggs Benedict is, likes his car way too much, has a faux hawk right now. He asked me out on MSN. His dog isn't very cute. He has a really short attention span and a lot of girlfriends. He's an awful kisser, doesn't like hockey, and lives in the North End. He's probably not going very far in life. And every once in a while, he has this man PMS thing. Thank you.
That's an eclectic set of criteria. James, you are on deck, but joining us on stage right now, Shannon is going to read a couple of diary entries. These were written when she was 11 years old, and what you need to know about these diary entries is that at the time, Shannon was living in Winnipeg, and she knew that she was going to have to move to Texas. Please welcome to the Grownups Read Things They Wrote as Kids stage, Shannon.
So I'm going to read to you guys from my 90210 diary. June 29th, 1993. Today, our school had a dance, and I danced with Ryan Platsko. He said he didn't care if he danced with me, so that means he thinks I'm okay. When we were dancing, we didn't look at each other. We looked the opposite way. I guess we were shy. Anyhow, I had lots of fun. We had a rap dance, and a twisting thing, a country thing, and even limbo. I bought a drink there. I hope next dance Ryan will want to dance with me again. Oh, he is so, so cute. Before I thought he hated me. And we're going to skip ahead a bit to another entry. This one doesn't have a date, but it was also in the summer of 1993. I don't remember what I was going to tell you, but now I have plenty of things to tell you, starting with this. I'm moving to Texas for 2 years, and I hope when I move back, Ryan Platsko is gone. Because I absolutely detest him or hate him. And I don't like Philip either. And we were playing Truth or Dare today, and Philip asked the first question, and he asked if I liked Ryan Platsko. At the time I did, so I said yes. And then later on in the game, Julia asked Ryan if he liked me, and he said no. Then Philip started laughing and stuff, and I had to go home. Then on the way, I told Julia she was wrong, and she said, I think he still likes you. And at the time, I wasn't sure if I liked him or not, and she said that she thinks the only reason he doesn't like me, and Philip doesn't like me, they both like her, is because of my attitude. And now, I absolutely hate Ryan. Gross. Anyhow, I was feeling pretty ugly and stuff when I got home. And I was feeling pretty unpopular, and feeling that Julia was more superior than me. When I got some more bad news. It was that we couldn't take the motorhome with us to Texas. So it was a pretty unhappy day. But I have a plan. I'm going to call Julia and say, let's play Truth or Dare with Ryan and Philip. And then I'm going to tell her what I plan to do, which is say truth when someone asks me. And if they say, do you like Ryan P? I'll say no. And if they say, who do you like? I'll say, nobody. And if they say, would you kiss Ryan? I'll say, no way. And then, that might be a good plan. I hope it works. And after that, I'm going to prank Ryan and Philip, maybe Philip, and I'll think of some other ways to get even. Anyhow, with moving, everything is falling apart because we can't bring the motorhome and stuff, but now... I kind of want to move just to get away from Platsko the dummy. But we plan to get a new motorhome and go to different places, and they have good fashions in the States, and they have warm weather and no mosquitoes. But they do have tornadoes, tarantulas, poisonous spiders, poisonous snakes, and killer bees. And it's only 2 years. All I want to say is that when I come back, I hope Ryan is gone. And in Truth or Dare, if they ask me if I like him, I might even say the first one was a joke. And I've never liked him, and I never will. So, stupid Ryan, gross. By the way, I used to like Brad Raymond and Ryan, gross, before Brad moved away. But as you know, I know always and forever, and I know for sure I will never, ever like Ryan again. Thank you.
You can catch Shannon at our spin-off series, Grownups Read Elaborate Truth or Dare Scenarios they imagined as kids. Coming soon. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have any fans of the genre known as Choose Your Own Adventure? I was hoping you would say that. When James was in grade 6, he wrote his very own Choose Your Adventure style story entitled Mission Ring Rescue. And he says he chose the Choose Your Own Adventure format as a way to disguise the lack of actual content in his story. Please welcome to our stage, James.
All right, I'm going to start with the introduction. I had to transcribe this since I originally wrote it in red crayon on black construction paper. Okay. Okay. Your mission is to find the magic ring, which has been stolen by the evil Baron Xander. He has guards to stop you. Good luck. So this is Mission Ring Rescue. You are in your spaceship when you get a phone call. The call says, "Come quick," said the voice. "The magic ring has been stolen." Just then you see anemones outside. Should you shoot or radio a peace message? So you choose to shoot, okay. And it says, zap, 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 zap. It works. You shot them all, but a mothership comes. And you shoot and kill it, but out come more. Should you shoot or radio a peace message? So if you choose to shoot again, it says, zap, you miss. They shoot you, the end. So instead, you can radio a peace message, and it says, they believe you, so you pass through safely. So you land and put on a robot disguise. You tell 3 guards you want the ring. They give you a test, shoot 6 men. I think that's shoot. And So this is a little hard to explain, but next to this, I drew a grid with the letters A through N. There are squares next to some of the letters and circles next to the other letters, and I think the squares are supposed to represent men, and the circles are robots. But at any rate, your choose your own adventure options are ABEILN or CDEFMN. If you pick CDEFMN, you get, boom, you blow up. No robot would make that mistake. The end. So we will not make that mistake. We will take the other one. And it says, you chose ABIELN, and you shoot only men. So they think you are a real robot, so you get the ring from Baron Zanner and use the power of the ring to destroy them. The mission is over. The end. Thank you.
But joining us on stage right now, Sabrina is going to share the script for a live book report she wrote in grade 8. And if you've never heard a live book report before, let me explain. This is a book report written in the form of a Canada AM broadcast. For context, Sabrina grew up in the 80s during the Cold War. Please welcome her back to the Grownups Read Things They Wrote as Kids stage.
You also need to know for context that I employed a lot of my classmates to take part in this, so there's a variety of people, it's not just me. The first part of this book report has nothing to do with the books I read, but we did this just for your enjoyment and to waste time in class. Hello, I'm Janine, and welcome to Sabrina's book report, alias Canada AM. We were going to have an interview with a real live hijacker, but our star reporter, James, who was on the plane, got killed for asking too many questions. Before we could get it on tape. The interview, that is. What a bummer. Well, in the news today, 7 planes were hijacked in Iran. Yawn. What's new? Well, half of New York State was blown up yesterday by the Russians. So now there's only, 22 and a half states left for them to blow up. Well, that is all the boring news we have for today. So let's move to sports. Here's Ronald. Hi, I'm Ronald, and this is sports. Well, there's not much to say, but Saskatchewan is near to the top team of the league in football. They just have to defeat Halifax, and they will be on top. Wait a minute, Halifax got blown up by the Russians. They have such bad aim. So now, Saskatchewan is the top. Regina in the minor leagues is the top 2 in hockey. What's left of the states isn't doing too well. Actually, they're the worst team this side of the universe in football and hockey. Also in sports today, the Olympic Committee is having a recall of the Summer Games of 1988 because the judges feel that Canada should get higher marks. The recall will be this month, January, and will be held in Alaska. We will now pause for a commercial break from my brother. Hello, this is for all you North Americans out there. These are anti-nuke pills. And they will protect you from the bombs the Russians are dropping. This is a must for all Americans, Canadians as well, because you know how they bombed Halifax and that they have bad aim. You can order by sending $100 to Anti-Nuke Pills, Post Office 72, Regina, Saskatchewan, S4R2A1. Remember, there is no guarantee on these pills. We now return to Canada AM with Josh and the stock market report. Everything in the stock market is worth from nothing up to 5 cents. The prices have dropped literally overnight. The only thing that hasn't fallen is the Canadian dollar. It has risen to $10.49 US currency. This may be because there's not much of the US left. But no one knows for sure. Well, that just about wraps up the stock market report for today. And now, Anjanette and the weather. As you'll see on this map, in what's left of the States, there are tornadoes over here, hurricanes over here, and bombs dropping all over the place. Canada has tried to help the Americans, but the Russians threatened to bomb us too, so we couldn't. In Hawaii, there are major snow flurries and a low of about -40 degrees. Down in Antarctica, there are sunbathers everywhere and a high of 34 degrees. In Canada, in the Atlantic provinces, there are tidal waves 1,000 feet high, plus flash floods because of the earthquakes that hit France. The earthquakes were around 8.9 on the Richter scale, ranging as high as 9.8. There is now a desert forming in BC. Why? No one seems to know. Meanwhile, Halley's Comet went berserk over the holidays and crashed into Holland, killing 210 people. Well, that's all for the weather. We now go to Mandy with the book corner. Hi, I'm Mandy, and since James was killed by that hijacker, I've come to interview a book reviewer. Fun, huh? She is going to tell us about 2 books for young adults she's read lately. Before I start, I'd like to announce that Regent Park Elementary School was voted the best public school in the city, with nice teachers that give people good marks on their book reports. So Sabrina, tell us about those books that you've read. Thank you.
Maybe I'm the only one who missed this, but what book was that for? Who knows? I also love just how many woos the fictional value of the Canadian dollar got during. Some people seemed genuinely excited. I'm gonna let Bronwyn know. Bronwyn, you are on deck. But can I ask you, Regina, do we have any fans of magic in the room? When Aaron was 12 years old, he considered himself a bit of a magician. He really enjoyed performing magic tricks, and he's going to share with us right now a short piece entitled How to Prepare a Magic Show. Please welcome Aaron to our stage.
Thank you. So I was that kid in your class in grade 6 who did the magic tricks. Yeah. And my piece of writing is complete with sweet 90s wizard clip art. If you can. So written on October 6, 1993, so early in my magic career. And just to let you know, I scored 9.5 out of 10 with a special note from my teacher that said super abracadabra. So this pretty much reads as a checklist for those of you, thinking about putting on a magic show. When you are preparing a magic show, you should first find out what age group you are performing for. You do this so you can choose what tricks to perform. You don't want to do the same kind of trick too many times during the show because your audience will get bored. It's true. Make sure you involve your audience in your show. Make sure to be funny. If you mess up, play along with it, even, and this is important, even if you want to break down and cry. Which I'm pretty sure is from experience. Make sure you are loose and relaxed. If you are tight and show your nervousness, the audience will know. I have done many, many magic shows, including a show at my cousin's birthday party this summer, which is where I think I cried, to be honest. And I get better and better at performing magic each time. I really, really, really enjoy performing magic. Thank you.
That checklist is not dissimilar from the one I read every night before I come up on stage. Robin, you are on deck. Joining us right now, our second Bronwyn of the evening. Bronwyn A is going to read a couple of things. We're going to hear a short story written in grade 2 all about why the dinosaurs died. And then we're also going to hear an assignment written in grade 7. And this was a story starter assignment. And the idea here is that the teacher would give you 3 words, and you would have to write a story incorporating those 3 words. Bronwyn's words were summer, blue, and bee. Please welcome to our stage, Bronwyn.
Yeah, that'd be good. Okay. Why there are no more dinosaurs. I know why dinosaurs died. Well, it all started in a jungle. There was a T-Rex, a Stegosaurus, and a Brontosaurus. They were friends for a long time. But one day, they got in a fight. T-Rex shouted, "I hate you!" Stegosaurus said, "What did you say?" I said, "I hate you." Brontosaurus couldn't stand it. And they didn't even know why they were fighting. Brontosaurus yelled, "Stop it! It is time to go away underneath the ground." "But why?" T-Rex said. "That's our home. You have to give up life." And that is why there are no dinosaurs. Wednesday, February 29th. I'm still really stuck on this whole dinosaur thing. I caught a dinosaur, and you can't. Excuse me? Excuse me. How did you catch one? Well, I went to the past. Then I went and looked some more. Then I found it all snug in a rug. Well, I took that dinosaur and threw him in my car. Now he lives in the museum. It was a warm summer evening when a blue bee stung my finger. It hurt. My finger had swollen to the size of a melon. I lived afraid of blue bees until yesterday. My friend Caitlin was over to my house. We were playing N64 when my mom told us we should get some fresh air. So we went outside and played catch. Then a big blue bee started to eat off the ball. Now, the bee was not just a big blue bee. He was a ball-eating big blue bee. But Bronwyn was brave and ready to kill. She got the biggest fly swatter that you ever did see, and she killed that bee. It just so happened that ball-eating big blue bee was the queen of all blue bees. I was awarded the Governor General's Award because I had been effected blue bees, and I killed each and every species of the blue bees. I am a hero. Thank you.
Bronwyn, I just want to clarify something. The required elements were the words summer, blue, and bee. The ball-eating component That was entirely your own invention and not a required part of the assignment. Good. Okay, great. That is wonderful. I'm going to let Kate know. Kate, you are on deck, but joining us on stage right now, Robin is going to share a short school journal entry from 2nd grade, and we're also going to hear a short story, and both of them share a similar but very long-forgotten hobby of Robin's at the time. We're going to find out exactly what that hobby was right now. Please welcome Robin to our stage.
This is a journal to my teacher. February 18th, 1993. I can do it myself. I can play by myself. I can beat up my brother by myself. I can rip off Barbie's heads by myself. I can play the piano by myself. I can do math by myself. I can get to sleep by myself. I can read myself. I can dress myself. I can eat myself. March 6th, 1993. My incredible journey. One day, I was ripping off Barbie's heads. I saw something outside. It looked like a bush. I went outside. It was a whale. I wondered what a whale could be doing in my backyard. But it swam over to me, and it picked me up, and it was flying. I could not see the wings. Then he spoke. I do not have any wings. I do not know why I can fly. Us whales don't have birth. We just pop out of nowhere. We don't know why we do this, but then an eagle picked me up. The whale flew up and took me back. When the eagle saw that whale fly, he was scared. On my ride, I saw an eagle. I saw lots more. The whale gave me yogurt, pie, ice cream, grapes, a friend, and a cookie. He gave me lots more. He took me up to space and then said, I'm going to put you down now. Why? I'm going to die now. Why? You were ripping off Barbie's heads. Bye. Then I went to bed. The end. Okay.
I think it is entirely possible that before she wrote that, Robin stopped by the cigar store and bought 8 packs of marijuana. I am going to let Mark know that Mark is on deck. But joining us on stage right now, Kate is going to share a diary entry from when she was 10 years old, and we're also going to hear a couple of poems she wrote when she was in high school. And the thing you need to know about these poems is that at the time, when she was 17, Kate thought these were very deep and angsty pieces of art. Now she realizes they are terrible train wrecks. Please welcome Kate to our stage.
June 13th, 1995. Dear Diary, I haven't written in for so long because I lost my diary keys again. Here's my update. Kaylin told me today she met a guy and they like each other. On Saturday, she said her friend told her to kiss him. Today, I felt all sorts of feelings. Am I ready for boys? What happened to cute little Kathleen? I am now going to write myself a letter when I'm 12. Dear 12-year-old Kate, who's cutest in your classroom? Since Ryan's class left, that narrows it down to Curtis and Trevor. Well, who's cutest in grade 7? Are you, bracket me, pretty? How's Kaylin doing with her boy toy? Do you have one? That's all I'm wondering. Kathleen, age 11. March 6, 1997. Dear Diary, I need someone to write to or talk. I just got done a book called Secret Diaries, Volume 1, Temptation. In it, a girl, well, teenager, writes in her diary in a code. I thought about it and decided to write in you again. I suppose I should name you something more appropriate than diary. How's pal? No. What about friend? I just don't know anymore about anything. Mom is fixing up Ray's old room. She's painting it, making shelves, ripping out the rug. I want to move out of my room. It's not really my room. More like Rhonda's old one, Ray's old room. For once, I want my room. My social life is okay. I still like Ryan. I have the impression he likes me too, but it's probably all in my head. My grades are sky high. It seems like Margie, Ryan, Clayton, and I are always fighting for the highest marks. The dogs are great. Smokey passed on a while back, about a week. I didn't cry, even though I did when she merely went missing for a day. I'll try to keep up writing in you if I can. Well, bye. March 7th, Dear Diary, I am left here to pick up the shreds of my so-called life. Rhonda is going to the dance of the century, leaving me. Not like if I went I would have any fun. Mish would be curling and I would only dance with Margie anyway. I might have been able to drag a guy out by his hair, but what's the point? I'd rather stay here and read a book. Volume 2, that is. I'm going to start a dream journal and see what I get. March 8th, Dear Diary, I finished Volume 2 of Secret Diaries. 300 pages. Well, 297, but who's counting? I can finish it in a day. I did. Many say I don't have a life. Well, not to me, but people say, get a life all the time. Just because my life is different than the cool kids, that's my choice. I like myself. I have good ears, eyes, and smell. I never forget a face. I always remember what people say. I'm sure ugly, but all my senses are the best. I would have gone to the dance last night, but I wasn't feeling well, and I would dance my heart out, but my heart is gone. Ryan took it when he flirted with Amanda. Well, it's been nice pouring my heart out, but I'm done now. Bye. Okay, this poem is called Knowledge, March 9th, 2001. You can read sonnets and poems abound, but if you've never basked in the sweet warmth of love, you know nothing. You can look at pictures and brochures, but if you've never traveled and smelled the air on the other side of the universe, you know nothing. You can speak of mystical places, but if you've never attended a ball in a palace in your imagination, you know nothing. You can sit on your high pedestal with your degrees, honorary graduate certificates, and books about war, but until you've lived 1 second when your heart is pounding of fear or your body is pulsing of love, you know nothing. The biggest mistake you can make is mistaking knowledge for wisdom. Okay, I also dabbled in extended metaphors. Cake, May 13th, 2001. The relationship cake. All ingredients in half-cup form. 1/2 from guy, 1/2 from girl. Mix in a bowl, trust, respect, caring, attraction, and courage. Mix ingredients and let them sit for a while to let them get to know one another. Bake from the heat of a first kiss. Now you have a relationship cake. It looks good, tastes good. Feel free to set it aside and have some milk if you don't want any at the moment, or if you hit a butter lump. If the cake just doesn't taste right, maybe you forgot some ingredients, or this just isn't the right mix. Cake must be constantly upheld with patience, understanding, and romance. If one party doesn't uphold their part of the cake, it just can't be eaten. Sometimes when the cake is gone, one person doesn't want to bake another cake with you. Respect it, and don't waste your precious ingredients on them. You don't have to eat cake. When one person makes the cake themselves, it doesn't taste good to either people. If you want cake, but it is unavailable to you, muffins will have to suffice. Bracket, by muffins, I mean platonic relationships, but that's a whole other metaphor. Thank you.
Uphold that cake with romance. I'm going to let Donna know. Donna, you are on deck. But joining us on stage right now, Mark is going to share a short poem he wrote at age 11. This is from grade 5, and it's a limerick. Please welcome Mark to our stage.
Does that go low enough? Okay, so back in 1972, when I was in grade 5, my grade 5 teacher, Mr. Grill, you're not here, right? He was teaching us poetry, and he sent us home with an assignment to write a limerick to be handed in the next day. When my older brother, by a few years, caught wind of this, he thought he needed to impart some wisdom of his years and help me out with this. So we worked all evening and came up with what we thought was a limerick of pure genius. I handed it in with great pride, but that pride was soon quashed when it came back to me with "try again" written across the bottom in big red letters. Well, that was the day this grade 5er realized that Mr. Grill had absolutely no sense of humor. So here it is. There once was a man from the north who said, "Ho, ho," and so forth. But then one year, there were no deer. So he came riding by on a horse.
Short, sweet, and to the point. Very nicely done, Mark. I'm going to let Devin know. Devin, you are on deck. But joining us on stage right now, Donna is going to read a couple of excerpts. These are some letters written home to her family while she was on a summer missions trip in Africa at age 14. And what you need to listen up for here is the very heavy emphasis on food. Please welcome Donna to our stage.
Mom, I need you to write to my leader and tell her that I have permission to be a vegetarian. Yesterday, they gave us beef for lunch, and we have to take some of everything, but I couldn't eat it, so please send permission fast. So far, I only have 2 SBs. Those are work detentions. One is for the meat I told you about. Hello, family. How are you? I'm in Timbuktu now. It is very hot here. Does it surprise you that the Sahara is hot? Today is Sunday. We just got back from church. It was in French, so I didn't understand it. How are things at home? Do you miss me? Oh, we found out yesterday that the building permit for our church hasn't come in yet. They think the king of Mali, it's actually a democracy, will not agree to it, so we do not have a project. Jim, our leader, says we will just do odd jobs until it comes in, if it comes in. I'm dripping sweat. You'd think I just came out of the shower, but for all the sand sticking to me. See ya. Love, Donna. P.S. Mail me gum, please. Yesterday, we did our presentation for the church, and when it was over, they fed us. We had goat shish kebab. Yuck. I had to eat it and smile, or it would be rude. My buddy Annalise, who is also a vegetarian, ate it with me. Somehow we managed to swallow it all. Then we had peanuts, and they tasted a good kind of strange. Yesterday was spending day. It was fun. I bought something for each of you. One guy was trying to sell me this totally ugly necklace, and he asked me how much I would pay for it. I told him that I didn't want it at all because it was so ugly. Then, and he laughed and said I would make a good wife. Does that make sense to you? I rode a camel then, too. It would have been fun if my camel weren't the most ornery and bratty camel that a caravan driver has ever seen. He got up before I was on. I nearly fell off. It was scary. I was fine after we started, though. See ya. Love, Donna.
Yesterday, I had the most awesome day. First, one of the kids gave me a ring. The cookie store was open. We had pizza for supper, and it was a mail day. I got 4 letters. Today, our masons brought us some seeds. They were very good, so I'm sending you some. We have no idea what they come from or what kind they are, but they taste like sunflower seeds, minus the salt, and like pumpkin seeds. Today, we are having a sandstorm. It is very sandy. They said this is just a small one, but it already knocked over Danielle's tent and all the tarps came off all the tents. That's all for now. See ya. Love, Donna. P.S. Please, and then there's 7 little arrows. Mail me Kool-Aid, okay? We are allowed to have it.
Longtime listeners of Grownups Read Things, they wrote as kids, know that we are always on the lookout for a new catchphrase. Maybe we can try this one out. Grownups Read Things, they wrote as kids, a good kind of strange. Donna, perhaps we can work out some kind of licensing agreement. I don't know how that would work. Regina, I'm going to let you know that our next reader is Devin. And Devin's going to share 2 very short pieces that he wrote when he was 10 years old. These are journal entries, and what they cover are an average weekday in his life and then an average weekend in his life. We're gonna get a little bit of a taste of what it was like to be 10-year-old Devin. Please welcome him to our stage.
Okay, I wrote these to my teacher, and she was marking them. So, a day with Devin. My life is the worst. Every day I wake up in the morning and get dressed and have breakfast. I spelled breakfast wrong. That's important for later. Then I go to school, and I go on the bus. That's always late. Then I go to my class and get in trouble because of the same immature kid, which won't shut up. Then my teacher, which will remain nameless, yells at me. Every time that she does this, I think the same thing. She's wasting her breath. After various boring assignments, lunch comes, and I think, what a relief. Then I remember the lunch supervisor is still here. After getting in trouble from her, notice how it's always a her. I go home and do hours and hours of pointless homework. And then I go to bed. And then my teacher wrote a note, said, always a her. I hope this isn't truly what you think, Devin. And then I responded, yes, I think it is true. A weekend with Devin. Every weekend is the same. I wake up and have breakfast, which is spelt right, in parentheses, and I spelt which wrong and spelt wrong. Then I change and sit back in a comfy chair, and out of nowhere, I hear a tiny, tiny voice, clean your room, with 9 exclamation points on that. I'll never get used to this. In fact, this startles me so much. From my chair, I literally tip over. After that, I have to do homework for hours and hours and hours. After this, I go back down in my chair, and as I do this, I hear, do the dishes, with 9 more exclamation points. Once again, I fall back, dish after dish after dish. It just doesn't end. Then I go to sleep on my relaxing bed, and I think, ugh, it's Monday tomorrow, and I have to face my stupid teacher. And then there's a note that says, Devin, see me. And I responded, maybe. Thank you.
could characterize Devin's journal entries as unkind to his teacher, but he does get bonus points for not, as I did, threatening to kill them. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been Grownups Read Things They Wrote as Kids. Huge round of applause for all of our readers this evening. So good. We want to thank all the readers. We want to thank Karen for doing sound tonight. We want to thank the Regina Folk Festival volunteers at the door. We want to thank the Regina Folk Festival board, Sandra, Melanie, Joel, everybody at the Regina Folk Festival. We want to thank Jenna. We want to thank me, Dan Meisner. Thank you for supporting the arts in Regina. Check out the rest of Winterruption. Get home safe, then dig up your own kid writing. We will see you soon. Good night.